Welcome back to the show.
Welcome back to the show.
And now, your hosts of the Card Subject to Change podcast, the For Frequency's Sake Tag Team Champions of the World, the Wizard CZ, and Never Wrong Nick Bull.
Hello, one and all, and welcome back to another exciting edition of the Card Subject to Change podcast. The podcast by the fan for the fan. Of course, we're powered by Low Pies Pizza. We're built by Durham Remodeling, colored by Ryan Allison Tattoo, and protected by Jared Zook of Country Financial. So glad you're with us. So glad you found us. And if you love wrestling, this is the place to be. I am your host, Never Wrong Nick Bull. We're so happy to have you here. Yeet! God, I've always wanted to do that. I've always wanted to do that, and I can do it in context, and I don't look like a dork. Yeet! I would be remiss if I did not introduce to you my tag team partner, the engine behind the Ferrari. He keeps this thing going. He is the one. He is the only. We are co-champs of the For Frequency's Sake Tag Team Champs of the World, the Wizard CZ. Wiz, how you doing?
Man, I am super stoked to talk about what we're going to talk about tonight. This was a great weekend, a lot of fun. And Nick, I know we watched everything at the High View last night. I am going to get you to hop up on that table and yeet. I'm going to do it. It's going to happen. And I'm going to film it when it does.
Okay, I will hop up on the table like the announcers do. If I can, we're going to do this later in the year. We're going to, when it's nice out, we're going to have you doing the Jey Uso entrance, like at a park.
Okay.
And the people in the park are going to be unbeknownst to what we're doing, but you're just going to walk through them like you're this megastar, just yeeting everybody.
I'll have to get the yeet glasses for sure.
Yeah, of course. You know, if you're just tuning in, we're going to, of course, talk about the biggest wrestling event of the year so far. Whoa! What's this?
If you smell, wait a minute. This isn't an NBA trade deadline podcast. I'm in the wrong place. Hold on, I gotta go.
He's dropping Woj bombs here.
Another one literally just dropped when we went on the air. But hey, it's madness, everybody. Hi guys, how are you?
Joe, how are you doing? We're doing great.
We're doing great. I'm telling you what, I'm so glad you showed up as entry 31 because Nikki Bella last night at 30 is the most disappointing 30th entrant I've ever witnessed in my life.
We will talk about that for sure. She can still dance. Her hips aren't dead yet. They might lie a little, but hey, good.
They
for
lie. Oh, they lie.
She yucks somebody's yum. That's for sure. But yeah, man, it's really cool to be here. I always love seeing you guys and chatting with you guys. It's been a crazy weekend. I had a game Friday, huge rivalry game Friday. Was out of town yesterday, came back for the Rumble, and then today went to go see Illinois. Luckily, the Illinois Fighting Illini did not ruin my weekend. So we're here now, and we're excited and ready to go. I'm really excited for this. I appreciate you guys having me on. I was bugging you guys like a couple weeks ago. Like I just want us to like sit down and talk about like cool Wrestlemania stuff because I miss you. And then Chris hits me up the other day and he was like, "Hey, do you want to do the Rumble?" I was like, "I think I can get back in time. I think I'll be back before like midnight." So it is really cool to see y'all, and I'm really excited to be here. And yes, I am better. I am the correct 31st entrant.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. We're joined here by Joe, the show Winkel. You can catch him on the Educated Ignorance podcast. You can also catch him on the call for the Moline Maroons basketball games. That's on QCSportsnet.com. Sportsnet. Yep. I was forgetting the net part of it, but yep, you can find him there. But I was excited when we got you booked to talk about this, and even more excited now that we got probably the most shocking / surprising entry or ending in Rumble history. I mean,
Yeah.
so it's just fuel for the fire. We're glad to have what, Joe. I guess I'll ask your biggest takeaway from the show. What was your thoughts to yourself? What were you saying out loud or to other people when the show ended?
It was, so I watched with one of my best friends, Blake, last night, and we were just genuinely happy. It was, for the men's Rumble, it was one of the two, I think, best I've seen in my lifetime. I wasn't a wrestling. I was only 6 years old and not a wrestling fan yet when the 2001 Royal Rumble happened, which is, I think, popularly acclaimed as the greatest Royal Rumble of all time. Just from knowing back that, were you going to say 92? Okay.
Yeah.
Just going to say, just saying from like a person by person standpoint, I do, and someone who, has the WWE Network trademark, or AKA now a Peacock subscription in America, you can go back and watch old shows. So I've watched it, and I felt like guy for guy, it was the most loaded actual Rumble. Like the last third of it, it's just like in the end, when it's the final, like 11 guys in the ring, it's like everyone, it's like 10 Hall of Famers and Logan Paul. It was really good. So like, it was fun. It was just really fun. And the ending was genuinely surprising and in a good way. And it's going to be nice to listen. I know we'll have qualms about certain things. I feel like to your guys' fan base, and you guys have a great one, and you guys always kill it. I feel like the only few times that I've actually come on to talk about pay-per-views was the SummerSlam after Jey lost to Roman, and we did like the live show after WrestleMania Night 1 last year. So I feel like I've only been on here to talk negatively. So I hope people now can understand after tonight that I do enjoy the product of the WWE, because the third time is the charm. And it was just fun. It was just really fun, man. And that's what it's supposed to be. The other one I was going to say that I enjoyed the most Rumble-wise, the 2018 one was exciting for all the reasons, even though afterwards it kind of went to hell. And the 2021, obviously, with Drew and Brock, those were my other two like favorites. But last night it was just a joy, man. It really was.
Incorrect. I mean, it's the kickoff to WrestleMania season. Not only do we get one Rumble, we get two Rumbles now with the addition of the women's. Last night was the 8th running of the women's Rumble. But like, it's like the most interactive match, right? Like everybody is into it. The countdowns, everybody's up for the entrances. I think it's the match that has the interest, that piques the most interest of wrestling fans all year.
I think so too, right? It's like everybody who's a wrestling fan, whether they're even into it or not, know what the Royal Rumble is.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're watching for the surprise entrance, right? You're watching for the callbacks. But I'm telling you, you made that comment about, there's all these studs in there, and Logan Paul. Everybody in the ring was a world champion or had won a world champion. It was like 11 people in the ring. 8 former world champions. Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, Logan Paul, who are all 3 over in their own way, shape, or form, and are all 3 future world champions, I think, in the next 2 to 3 years. So I got to thinking in my head, man, this may be the most loaded Rumble with the star power they have. There haven't been really any duds, and you can kind of go back. And I know 92 was well before your time, Joe. I'm not sitting here saying that stay off my yard. This Rumble wasn't great.
No, but for it was the first
roster.
Yeah, and the first one, you're right, though. Stacked roster, and the first one ever, one of only, 2 that were actually for the world title. So, yeah, no, I totally understand when people say 92 is one of the best.
So, where do we want to start, gentlemen? Because there's so much to talk about. I mean, obviously, we know what everybody, unless you lived under a rock yesterday, knows what happened, knows the big surprise at the end. And I think that should be our main event tonight, is talking about the men's Rumble. But we had 3 other matches on this card. The women's Rumble, we had 2 out of 3 falls with DIY and the Motor City Machine Guns. And of course we had the ladder match between KO and Cody. I don't think we're going to spend a lot of time talking about the tag match, so we might as well just rip that Band-Aid off now. What do you think, fellas?
That's up to you, man. We really just hop around on here, but I understand if you want to leave the men's rumble for last. I get that, but let's this is like this is the choose your own adventure wrestling podcast book, the closest thing you'll ever get. So you decide where we go, and then we'll go for there.
I mean, you both know I'm a huge Johnny Gargano fan, a huge DIY fan.
Mark.
100%. I will fully admit that. But on such a stacked card, this is the dud match of the night, and it wasn't really a dud match. It didn't have the most hype. It was lacking the same build that the men's rumble and Cody and KO had, and even the women's rumble to an extent. I mean,
if you're saying, okay, I'll say what you're trying to say. Of the four matches, this was the least appealing of the four, right?
Yes.
So it was going to get put in that spot after the women's rumble, before the Cody KO WWE title match. I get it. I am a big tag team wrestling fan, so this match did pique my interest. I think it's big that the titles are being defended on a major show. I think it's bigger that they're being defended in a big arena like that. We all know how VKM felt about tag team wrestling. Triple H cares for it a lot more, and it's not as featured as much as I'd like it to be, but I'm glad there was a tag team title match on the card. And then look at the two tag teams we got to see. DIY. Like Gargano and Ciampa by themselves, I'm not really into, but I can get into them as a tag team. So I'm behind DIY. And then you got the freaking Motor City Machine Guns. Still doing their thing. Legends. So I was pumped for this match and actually very excited. And for once, I didn't roll my eyes and cringe at the 2 out of 3 falls stipulation. I really didn't, because I was like, wow, let's get the most we can out of these guys. So I was looking forward to this match, and actually I enjoyed what I saw of it.
I think it also, as somebody who my childhood was Ruthless Aggression era SmackDown and Raw, obviously, but SmackDown was the better show. The Reign of Terror wasn't on SmackDown back then, but Ruthless Aggression era and TNA, like infancy, like television deal TNA.
Yep.
To see the Machine Guns have a tag team match in a packed stadium made my heart smile. I just wish WWE would have shelled out money for their TNA theme song, though. Now that they have a partnership with TNA, I don't know how they didn't get it, but you know what is what it is what it is, I guess.
Maybe it comes over. Maybe it's part of the settlement. Maybe it comes over. What were we going to say, TG?
It's on delay.
We want our old entrance back.
I'm gonna meld the two podcasts together. It's like the settlement's like the trade deadline. Them getting the Machine Guns music is like a future draft pick down the road. They gotta wait till that year rolls over. They gotta wait till that year rolls over.
Joe, I kind of want to do take a sidebar for a second here. You bring up how Motor City Machine Guns, huge stars in TNA. Since you haven't been on the show in a while, I just want to ask you, did you have the Hardy Boys having the TNA championships and Motor City Machine Gun having a WWE championship on your bingo card at all last year?
In the year 2020, in the year of our Lord 2025, probably not. Good. I mean, geez, the Hardys right now, I don't even know. TNA in general is weird because I haven't actually followed day-to-day TNA in forever, but you see stuff and I know we'll get, but no, I never thought the Gun. I guess I kind of knew for a while the Guns were going to, in the middle of 2024 when they kind of weren't doing anything, all roads pointed to them going to WWE, and I'm glad they landed there, and I'm glad that Triple H kind of gets it with the indie guys, quote unquote. So they were main roster immediately. He slapped the tag belts on them immediately. And, even though they don't have them now, they are relevant to a degree, even though they can't seem to book tag team wrestling on main roster television on a week-to-week basis. But is what it is. The thing that popped me more TNA wise is that Michael Cole said Nick Nemeth's actual name in the Royal Rumble match. I was like, wait a minute! I was the Leo DiCaprio movie from the the Leo DiCaprio meme from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I was like, I know who that is. Nick Nemeth. Yes. I know that name. There's a different name over here.
Yep.
That's what popped me. The TNA thing that popped me last night.
I think the biggest thing to talk about, the match was really good. I like I said, I will always enjoy DIY. The Motor City Machine Guns are bona fide legends in the business. I think the big story coming out of this match, though, is the return of the Street Profits, costing the Motor City Machine Guns the titles.
It seems that way. The first thing I thought of last night, and I promise there were a lot of things I liked on this show, so I don't mean to sound sour. It just reminded me of like the heel stuff when Bobby Lashley with them like failed, and that made me sad because it was like that should have been really cool. And now seeing the Hurt Syndicate stuff, one of like the 4 things AEW is doing well right now, which I mean, God, we could have a 2-hour show about AEW right now. I'm sure you guys would love some of my AEW takes.
We might have to have it. We might have to schedule a special edition.
Yeah, but it's just like, so the Profits, who knows? Will it work? Will they ever actually split them up and let Montez Ford try to be a single star? Who knows? But yeah, I mean, maybe you set up a 3-way tag at Mania, let them open one of the nights. That would be kind of cool. Man, foreshadowing, I'm not sure. But yeah, that's definitely something to take away from the match for sure.
Yeah. And not only that, the fact that they cost the Machine Guns the championship instead of going after DIY, because let's face facts, the story is that DIY attacked them. They want to take the belts from Ciampa and Gargano. I think that's going to be a good story to coming out. And I'm like you mentioned, a 3-way at WrestleMania. I would love to see those 3 teams go at each other in a 3-way. Can we make it an elimination match to just icing on the cake for me?
You know what? If they leave it at 3 teams, I'll be fine. I hope they don't go like a fatal 4-way and then it gets rushed to about a 5.5-minute match. I'm fine with all 3 of these teams going for the title. I got respect for all 3 of these teams. And, you know, I'm kind of what Joe's saying, like maybe this is the last run of the Street Profits before they make Montez Ford a freaking star, right? And, you know, don't just think of the matches that would cook with Montez Ford as a single star on either show. We would have some really good stuff. So maybe those guys, all 3 meet at WrestleMania. Stryker kind of added his little 2 cents over here about this. He can see it become a ladder match for those 3 teams at Mania. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. If that's where they decide to go,
I'd be okay with that. That would, as long as whatever the 3-way match is, as long as it's done right. And by that, I mean, they don't have one team sitting with their thumbs up their asses on the corner and 2 guys in the ring tagging whoever the hell they please. One person from each team needs to be in the ring at all times.
Oh, agreed. But I don't know if they'll let me book this match or not, so we can only hope.
I'll put in a call for you. I'll put in a good word.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's what I do, man. Where do we want to go next? Do we want to talk about the Women's Rumble, or do we want to talk about Cody and KO?
I say let's go Women's Rumble.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
So I'll ask you this, Joe. I kind of have a sense that Nick's answer already. Was the writing on the wall as to who was walking away with the Rumble win on this one for the women?
Yeah, unfortunately. I wanted Io to win.
That would have been awesome, especially if she had, especially.
You're not the only person that's told me that they wanted Io to win. So you're definitely not the only person I've heard that from.
Because I want Io and Rhea at Mania. I think that match would be really, really good. Even if like Io won and they did like Io and Tiffany, and then did like Rhea and Bianca or something, maybe, I don't know. But Charlotte winning is what it is. As long as Tiffany beats her, I'm okay. Which I mean, yeah, I doubt it, but we'll see.
I mean, it is as much credit as we'll give the men's for being unpredictable in that shocking finish. I just thought this was too obvious that she was going to win it. It was just so obvious she was going to win it. Rhea, your biggest star, current champ, she's not going to be in it, right? Tiffany Stratton, another huge star right now. She wasn't going to be in it. And then you can kind of see the pattern of the current women's situations on both shows, and none of them are really screaming world title picture. I guess one thing I was looking forward to possibly happening in this match was the return of Jade Cargill and having her go after Bianca as having Bianca be her attacker, and then Bianca goes.
Yeah, I was shocked about that.
I kind of thought we would see that.
Because she's not actually hurt, right?
Not to my knowledge.
No, storyline.
Yeah, I knew it was a storyline write-off. I just didn't know if she was actually hurt too.
But no one's going to suspect her of doing it. You can turn her heel. This is the time, because who's Rhea going to work with now on Raw?
Ooh.
Who's the heel you're going to feed Rhea right now?
Yeah, I
think it's pretty obvious Charlotte's going to go after Tiffany. It's going to be, old blood versus new blood. Hey, this is how we run stuff around here. And I think Charlotte's going to win the title at Mania, as much as I hope it doesn't happen. But that's the way I see it. What happens here? Who do you feed? Who do you feed Rhea now?
Do they give her Nia again? I don't want to see it, but
no.
I think Tiffany and Charlotte will be it'll be Wrestle Blondia or Blondamania at Wrestlemania. But you could get, if you do a chamber match for the number one contender, there's still a path to get Io to win it. Even Bianca you win that, obviously. I feel like it's not out of the world for one of them to get there. It just probably won't be the big monster heel versus Rhea type situation, because they haven't booked. Outside of Liv and
the Liv and Rhea things, the Liv and Rhea thing's over. Rhea's got her revenge, got her belt back.
Right. I was just saying, outside of Liv and Nia, they don't really have a booked woman's heel. Top heat, right? They're all kind of just there.
Bianca Belair.
That's what they need to do.
I know.
But here's the thing: they've got to get those tag belts. They got to get the damn tag belts off of Bianca. She is one of their biggest stars on the women's roster, and she is stuck in a lackluster tag division for the women.
The women's tag team title vortex. It's on the Mount Rushmore of bad vortexes, next to the Chris Jericho vortex, the Judgment Day vortex, and I can't think of another one.
And it's so ironic, because WWE NXT has the best women's division in wrestling right now.
Yes,
and the main card.
Yes.
They can't put together a tag team division. I'll that's a hill I'll die on right now. Like, the NXT women's division is loaded,
and you saw that. You saw that in this match, which every year they have to fill a third of the women's match with NXT, which I'm hoping that means, I'm hoping next year is the year they pull the trigger and have an NXT woman win it on her first in the Rumble. Have an NXT girl win the Rumble and go after a belt. I think that's something they need. If they're going to keep doing it where literally they don't announce it, obviously, because remember how it used to always be.
We've had the reverse. We've had the
15
reverse of it. We had Charlotte Flair win,
and then challenge Rhea
NXT belts. So I like what you're thinking. There were some impressive showings last night, like Roxanne Perez, guys. CZ. I'm not going to say we knew this, but CZ and I watch NXT kind of on the regular and talk about it a lot. She is money over there, absolute money. She just recently dropped the title, so this might have been her last hurdle to climb before a main roster debut.
Yeah, I was just going to say, is this her call up?
Because she was impressive last night. But I liked this Rumble. I thought they did a good job of filling out the roster for the Rumble when you know that there's no Rhea, there's no Tiffany. That causes some things. And, I know Becky Lynch was rumored to possibly come back last night. We don't know if she's re-signed, but we got to believe she's still part of their plan when we see her getting promoted, not only at the Rumble, but also in Raw promotions as well.
I think the only gripe that I have with the Rumble, the women's match, is I hate that every year they have it be where Nia just comes in. And I understand it, but like, why do we have to have her eliminate a third of the field every time? Like, I feel like they do that every year.
Could they have given that spot to Piper Niven instead?
Or like I mean, like when they had Shayna do it, that was cool, even though it ended in her not winning.
Maybe
but like,
it's probably part of the deal. It's probably part of the deal. Hey, you're not going to win, but we're going to put you over.
You don't have to have someone eliminate a third of the field in every Rumble. It's like, let it be dispersed. Like Roxanne was in there for 42 minutes and she didn't eliminate anybody. She came in at third. Like, I just feel like they don't know how to book the women, like in a lot. Like they just, for some reason, like the men's Rumble, honestly, beat by beat, I thought was done really, really perfectly. Maybe there's a few things that were like, well, I don't know, but I really can't think of them off the top of my head. The women's one, like if you're having Roxanne come in at 3 and she's going to go to the end, have her have a few shock eliminations, to like just, because it's basically like it makes you feel like she just sat in the corner and like survived getting beat up for 42 minutes and then was involved at the finish, basically.
Yeah, I can see it from that way. I can absolutely see it from that way. My biggest gripe with the women's Rumble was number 30. What a letdown. I know I've said it before in the open of this show. The most disappointing number 30 in any Royal Rumble I've ever seen, men's or women's. You got the countdown, you got the long dramatic pause.
Yeah, there was like 2 seconds after there was like 2 seconds that just sat there after the horn sounded, and then it's I was like, oh God.
I've never been more let down as a wrestling fan than I was right there.
There are so many better people that could have filled that spot. I know, and Punk said no, she's at home watching Larry, but AJ Lee would have been perfect as that number 30.
It would have been cool, but does she really want to do it at the end of the day? Because you have to imagine they asked her, right?
I would think
They're probably asking her on the regular.
Yeah, because I even told my friend Blake, I was like, her just coming back to do a Rumble spot and that's it. The music, the pop, everyone would lose their shit. They'd all be so happy. And that could be it. She doesn't have to sit there and do any other story. That can be the only thing. It would have been cool. Because, like, what's the Nick? I mean, maybe Nikki just really wanted to do it. Like, but who's that? I mean, who's that serve? I don't know. I hope this doesn't mean she's like back. Could you imagine if they feed her to Rhea? Oh God! I'm sorry that I just put that into the ethos, but I mean,
now it's probably gonna happen.
Joe.
Now it's gonna happen.
After you.
I'm gonna come after myself. Can I tell you guys my favorite part of the women's Rumble match?
For sure.
Absolutely.
The Alexa Bliss entrance.
Yes.
I was so genuinely happy because I've always really liked her. I think she's really, really good. And wearing the Fiend stuff, like the Bray tribute. Bray's one of my favorite wrestlers ever. So, I mean, it's not like I was broken and cried a lot when Bray died, but like it's one of your favorite guys you've ever seen, and he's just such a great character. So it's why I like the Wyatt 6 stuff. I think I've told you guys, even though I know you guys didn't like it, but like that shit meant like when they were doing it, like or trying to do it, like that shit means something to me because I love Bray so much, and I know why Bo wants to do it. So to me, I'll try to get behind whatever they do. But like just her doing that, she had the thing that said Fiend Forever, but there was an R. I don't know if you guys saw it. Did you guys see it?
Yeah, I did.
And it had a small R after the F, so it said Friend Forever. That made me genuinely choke up. And the fact that we had nobody thought it was going to happen. Like, it was rumored, but then everyone kind of said, no, it's not going to happen. And when she came out there, people were genuinely like, the pop wasn't just like a, oh my God pop. The pop was like a, we are really happy you're here pop. And that made me very happy.
And then the interaction between Cole and Wade. Cole said, the internet said she wasn't going to be here. And then, Wade's like, quit reading the dirt sheets, Cole.
Quit reading the dirt sheets. The dirt sheets are bad news. That's what he should have said.
Reading the dirt sheets, Cole.
Wade is unintentionally awesome at it. It's crazy, but he's not. He's good. But yeah, that was really cool. And like her getting in the ring, and you could tell like it meant a lot to her. Like she was like almost crying. I don't know if you guys caught that or not. But I don't remember.
2 years.
I don't remember.
Gone.
I know, that's what I was thinking. I was like, she's been out at least a year and a half.
We looked it up. We looked it up last night, and it said 2 years. So, I mean,
I think
she
when
had,
I watched it back,
had a child. She had
Right,
a child
yep.
and got ready, but creative didn't have anything for her. So it's been long overdue.
Yeah. So even though she wasn't in there long, and whatnot, never expected her to win, obviously, but like the fact that she was there, the fact that the pop she got was amazing, the Bray tribute was really touching, and I loved it. And the fact that it just genuinely was happy and made her happy, I thought that was really cool. Probably my favorite, might be my single favorite moment of the night, honestly, because it was genuinely like a this is cool moment.
Absolutely. I completely agree. And Bliss has always been one of my favorites. I think she's excellent. I'm glad to see her back. I know there was a lot of, she's holding out for more money and blah, blah, like Cole reading the damn dirt sheets.
Yeah.
But no, I'm glad they worked everything out and she came back. What do you think about Jordan Grace, Joe, and her showing up?
Yeah. She's good. She's really good. If there was going to be anybody who was going to eliminate half the field last night, guys, I think it should have been her. Just throwing that out there. Here's my question for y'all. Do you think she's a main roster right away?
No.
You don't think so?
They had her eliminate Julia last night. It's going to set up a match. It's going to set up a match on NXT, and the fans want to see it because Julia's awesome and Jordan Grace is awesome. Yeah, I think she starts out in NXT and works her way up. And it's not a diss. I just think like the NXT women's division just got better. Like just got way better.
And it replaces Roxanne because Roxanne's going to get called up.
There you go.
So it's a good replacement. Seamless transition. They'll probably do the Julia. I would not be shocked. I mean, I know Julia kind of just won it recently, right? But I would not be shocked if they like slapped that bad boy on Jordan at Mania weekend.
That could be the big match for them. Ooh, man, that'd be a fun match.
And honestly, I mean, I would love for her to be like a main roster straightaway person just because of how big the signing was. But, there's nothing wrong with her being a part of that stacked women's division for the year. And honestly, if anyone probably would fit the bill, other than maybe Julia, of being the NXT woman to be in the Rumble to win it, it would be Jordan Grace.
Yeah.
And I honestly think it probably will never happen because I feel like they won't have that foresight. Maybe, I don't know, but it's something I think that, especially, I was going to say this earlier, like, remember back in, like, I don't think they did it. Obviously there was no brand split in the early 2000s, but I remember the mid to late 2000s and the early 2010s Rumble. Well, I guess not early 2010s, but the mid to late 2000s Rumbles, they would always be like 15 Raw and 15 SmackDown superstars. So they don't do that anymore, and they don't promote it like 10 Raw, 10 SmackDown, 10 NXT women. But literally for the women's match every year, like, the first year, a third of it was legends returning to be a part of the first one. But outside of that, every year, it's like a third of the women's Rumble is NXT wrestlers. So, like, if I think it would be really cool to have one of them win it. So that's where I kind of got behind that take.
I'd be totally behind it too. I think after how they booked the men's Rumble last night, it's got to give them confidence to be able to book something like that on the women's side and run with it like they did last night with Jey Uso winning.
So I got a question before we head to break concerning the women's Rumble. Obviously, one of the biggest things everyone looks forward to on the Rumble are the surprises. Who's making their debut? Who's coming back? What legends are going to be there? This, to me, felt kind of lackluster in their surprises, but particularly for the men, but the men made up for it. Do you think the knowledge that Charlotte was going to win, the people that they brought in that were a surprise made up for the fact that we knew pretty much who was walking away with the win there?
Yeah, it's probably their way of making it look. Yeah, I think so.
The only thing I would have done differently is I would have let Roxanne have a moment or two to almost win. Maybe. If you're going to have her be a part of the final two, don't have it be such a quick, like, boom, 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 and then it's over type situation. That'd be my really thing. But, like, yeah, I was more – the thing that really shocked me the most, I can't believe Becky didn't come back. I wonder why not yet? And I know you're like –
Don't know.
I was expecting her to be in it, but who knows?
Yeah. Well, we gotta pay homage to our fellow shows on the network here, so we're gonna take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk Cody and KO and the big match of the night, the Men's Rumble. So stick with us. We'll be back here in just a moment.
For frequency's sake, has you covered on all things sports. From the squared circle to the hardwood and the gridiron to the speedway, we've got something for everyone. Walk down the aisle with the boys from Card Subject to Change every Sunday as they take a deep dive into everything pro wrestling. Head on over to the hardwood with Doug Green and Watching the W each week for all the news from the WNBA. Want more insight from Pit Row? Check out the Green, White, and Checkered podcast where they give their insight on everything happening on and off the track. Need your gambling fix? We've got you there. Dan Hancock and Gotham Gambling will help you cover the spread with the Golden Ticket Show. Football more your style? Explore the waters of NFL DFS with DFS Deep Dive with Brian Craighead and Jordan Kernan each week. More into the science portion of the game? The Professor John Bush and Dennis Michelson take you into their science lab and dissect your week in the data lab. Need to know who to start last minute? The network's flagship show, For Fantasy's Sake, is here in a pinch. The fellas come to you live every football Sunday from 10 to 11:30 Central with the week's best DFS, gambling, and lineup advice. And wrap up your Sundays with Joe Winkel and Nick Brinks as they come to you live with educated ignorance, looking at all the day's action. Not enough football on Sunday? Not a problem. Kick your feet up at lunch on Monday and slip into the football lounge with Mark and Dan while they look at the week that was in news, notes, and more. For frequency's sake, you know what we mean.
Welcome back to the show.
Welcome back to the show. We are Card Subject to Change podcast, the podcast by the fan for the fan. I'm your host, Never Wrong, Nick Bull, joined by my tag team partner, the Wizard CZ, and we are being entertained, or we are entertaining, from the Educated Ignorance podcast, the one, the only, Joe, the show Winkel. We're all here talking Royal Rumble. I think we all are genuinely enjoying not only the show last night, but the talk we're having here. I mean, it was such a good show. Such a good show.
It really was. It makes you feel it's good when wrestling's good.
When was the last time that, not counting Saudi shows, take those out of the mix, when was the last time the WWE put on a bad pay-per-view or PLE or whatever?
Can't we just all admit that the Saudi shows are not canon?
Yeah.
I'd be all about
They don't count.
I would have to sit down seriously and go back and look at a list of their pay-per-views and pick out their last bad one. And when I say bad, like everybody kind of considered it bad. It didn't really have any redeeming factors. I mean, it seems we all watch wrestling for different reasons. And I never sit down to watch wrestling to watch a 5-star match. I want to see physicality. I want to see brutality. I want to see a story being told, and I want to see, what the path is for both guys afterwards. That's what I like about it. With that being said, I mean, they've just been on a run lately. And if you're not getting a top tier match, you're getting a top tier story and something to run with it afterwards. And I think there needs something to be said. I mean, there's been a definite shift. Everybody knows. But they just, like Sheamus, it's banger after banger after banger. I mean, Yeah. When was the last time you walked away from a WWE show and said, "Oh, that was crap"? What are they doing? It's been a while, and we all got that feeling last night of genuine surprise at the end of the show. That's why we watch wrestling, folks. Like, it's fun to get on here and predict what's going to happen and book what we think might happen, but we ultimately watch wrestling to be swerved, to be had, to be shocked, to be surprised, and that's what we got last night. And I trying to think the last time I was genuinely that shocked or surprised while watching wrestling, and I can't remember. And it's not saying that, these moments are moments that you'll remember where you were and who you're watching it with and how you felt. I can't remember the last time I felt this genuinely shocked, and it's a good kind of feeling.
It really is.
Yes.
And God, the last time I can remember thinking, by the way, thank you, Jordan, for the comment. I really appreciate it. It shows how much you care about me, and I care about you too. God, like Brock beating Undertaker. Like, was that like the last time where you were just like, well, it was a moment of like
that might be it. I wanted to ask that question because I've been thinking and racking my brain all day. Like, when was the last time I was genuinely shocked, in a good way? Like,
I've been shocked in a bad way.
Yeah.
It's like, really? Why? But in a good way like that.
Unfortunately, there are too many of those, so we got to enjoy the ones like the genuine shock and surprise of Jey winning the Rumble. But I digress. We'll talk about that men's Rumble match here in a little bit. I think we want to tear the Band-Aid off here of pretty hot story coming in.
You mentioned brutality and a good story and physicality. This match had all of that and more. The the fact that they brought back for a one-time only the Winged Eagle title, and I think doing that was a masterstroke with the way they have built off of it, and Kevin Owens stealing that title, parading around like he's the world champion.
Mm-hmm. They've done a great job, and Kevin Owens has been awesome. He's had a great stretch, that match was awesome, and it was brutal. You could not pay me to take the bump, not the end one, because that one is sick. But
I know what bump you're saying. Go ahead.
When the ladder is down and he takes the slam, and his back hits the top part of the ladder while it's on the ground.
And the ladder doesn't give.
Not at all, bro. And we're not talking about like they did the one where they slammed him into the open part of the ladder, like the open part. Talking about when the ladder is down and he gets slammed onto the points of it. No, sir, not me. I'm not doing, brother. That is psychotic. Kevin Owens is a maniac. Yeah, it was really fun. It was really good. The Sammy stuff was it made you feel, in a sense, like Sammy's looking at Cody like, why'd you just, I understand, but why did you just seriously hurt my friend? They kind of teased us when they did any of you guys think at the end when Cody was climbing and they did the pan out shot that Sammy was going to run in?
I was hoping he was. I really was. And it's no disrespect to Cody, because I love Cody, but I'm really interested in what Sami Zayn does next. I was interested in what was going to happen going into last night, because you knew at some point he was going to make his presence felt in this match. I guess I'm glad there was no shenanigans and there was a clear-cut winner last night. But, man, they're sowing the seeds, in my opinion, of turning Sammy heel. And you've seen it with Cody celebrating and standing over KO as KO was getting attended to by the medical attendees, and Sammy's there.
And Kevin Owens just did not move for an hour. They should have had him still there while the first entrant happened in the Rumble. He just died. Kevin Owens is so great. I'm sure he was in amounts of pain, but he sold that shit, bro.
Oh, he sold that Alabama slam oh my goodness, dude. You go back and watch it. He does it perfect. It looks like it. I mean, it looks bad. To me, the back bump on the ladder was worse.
Oh, the one when he took that slam?
Yes. To me, that was worse. I was like, holy shit, during the Alabama slam, because it sounded, it looked, it was just amazing.
Yeah, but at least that ladder breaks, and it's a breakaway, and it gives.
Yes.
The one where he just takes that slam, like, buddy, he couldn't be me.
No, thank you.
No way, no howdy.
So you bring up a good point about Sammy possibly turning heel. We've seen him as a heel before, and he does an excellent job, but this is going to be a completely different if and when he does turn heel, a completely different version of Sami Zayn as the bad guy. We're not doing the ridiculous conspiracy theory gimmicks. This is going to be.
Hey, I kind of like that gimmick, man.
It was
crap.
It was great.
Dude, he was great. He was great in it. I need to go back and watch some
He made it perfect.
Sammy.
He made it good. He took shit and he made it gold.
Right.
Let's face facts. But I see if and when he does make that turn, this is going to be a more badass, destroy everything in his path, Sami Zayn, and I am all in for that. I don't know about you, how you guys feel.
Yeah, if that's the route they go, I'll be excited. I'm with it every step of the way. There was a cool little red herring that I don't know if anyone else noticed, but remember when he first turned heel with Kevin and he pulled Kevin off the announce table when Shane did the dive?
Yep.
I'm sure that wasn't the same sweatshirt and sweatpants, but he was in, when that happened, a black sweatshirt and black sweatpants. And I noticed that last night. I was like, they had to do that on purpose. But I have a 10,000-foot galaxy brain question for the two of you.
Ooh.
As much as I would have loved Kevin to win, and then maybe Sammy win the Rumble, and then you have Kevin and Sammy do the Mania main event for the title, it would have been really cool. But I understand, we're here. It's fine. Obviously, the Rumble is great. All that blah 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 blah. Where we ended is good. I'm interested to see how we get to whoever Cody faces at Mania now. We'll talk about that, obviously, in the men's match. But was last night, this is my 10,000-foot galaxy brain question, was last night the first planted seed of the Homelander Cody Rhodes heel turn?
I think so.
Yeah.
The images of him standing on the ropes, celebrating, and staring at a literally dead Kevin Owens.
Yeah, a dead, bleeding, not moving
Yes.
Kevin Owens.
Those pictures and those visuals were really cool, and it felt like, oh, this was a step toward. It just felt like it. Because though there's a lot of things that they do when it comes to storytelling and booking that doesn't have any continuity at all, usually the main stuff will link together thematically and all have purpose. And it felt like they're not going to do something by accident. And the way Cody's mannerisms after winning, and I understand it was if you look at it from the vantage point of, he was excited, he was happy to win, he finally he got rid of his nemesis in a brutal rivalry. I get that, but I just first little seed planted of him being of him being a prick, but laughing while doing so.
I think back now as you explain this, as Cody's celebrating, Kevin Owens bleeding out and dying on the floor, the crowd's really not cheering for Cody. It's kind of a more revered silence to see what's going on with Kevin Owens. They might have reacted that the match was over, but the crowd's not going bonkers for Cody.
They were not singing the song.
No. They were on the way out, but I see it talked about a lot, the whole Cody going Homelander, and it's a calculated risk for WWE to do. But I think somewhere down the road, we're going to get Cody and Roman 3, and it's going to be the complete role reversal. Roman's going to be the face, and Cody's going to be the heel. And it is going to be such an interesting dynamic for round 3 of those guys. And to me, That's what I'm hoping for. If Roman and Cody ever meet again for round 3, I want it to be with a role reversal. I want Cody to be the hated heel, and I want Roman to be the baby face coming in.
I'm all in. I'm all in. Let me ask you this. First of all, Joe, I want to ask this directly to you, Joe, since we haven't had you on a while. We don't have your take on this. The KO Cody storyline, excuse me, has had a lot of what's the word? Off-camera interactions, and that's not the case. It's been filmed, but it's not been televised. We get a lot of fan footage and backstage footage between KO and Cody. What are your thoughts on that? And does it get you more invested, or is it one of those where you're like, it's more time, that's extra time that I have in my day that now I've got to look at this?
I don't know about no, I get what you're saying. I don't know if it makes me more invested, quote unquote, but I love like the fact that the Cody Roman or the Cody KO feud started. Wasn't it KO just jumping him out in the parking lot after Bad Blood?
Yes.
Was it Bad Blood?
Yes.
I think it was Bad Blood, right?
It was after Bad Blood, and it was not on the broadcast.
No, yeah, and he just
it was
jumps
all
him in the
social
lot.
media derived.
I love that.
Me too.
Honestly,
yeah. Okay. Yeah,
because it's like, yeah, you have to obviously make sure you do that stuff and then have it be taped by fans. Like you have to do it in that aspect. But I mean, if all of a sudden 2 wrestlers are brawling in the parking lot, the fans are going to record it. So like, I kind of love that. It makes it just have more of a these 2 dudes fucking hate each other type of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love it. I really do love it. I think it was super cool. And it just was unique because like you never see it. And I'm always for wrestling taking risks. I'm all for, even if sometimes you swing and you miss, I'm always for wrestling taking risks and trying to do stuff that doesn't happen before, because wrestling is a copy paste thing. You know what I mean? Like there are a lot, like everything usually has beat by beat, and you're usually going to have things that overlap and stuff happen in the same way. And that's not a bad thing. But if you try to be unique and try to be different and do something that really has never been done before, again, sometimes it might swing and miss, but when it's cool, it's really cool. So I really like that. So, and you can't do it all the time. It has to be specific, special things like that. Like it has to be super, and it has to fit those type of characters. Like, for example, like if the Guns and DIY just started fighting in catering, you know what I mean? But like last year, wasn't it at last year's Mania when LA Knight and
LA,
there you go. It's Intro 32. Like last year at the WrestleMania, like one of the expos, like LA Knight and AJ Styles just started brawling. Like,
yeah,
you have a blood feud and it fits. Like, I'm all for it. It's really cool.
Yep.
Hey, I was just wanting to drop in. I wanted to report that Educated Ignorance has traded Joe Winkel, the card subject to change, for Chris Zach. So,
well, there goes Educated Ignorance. That show's going to be trash now that I'm the host of it.
Who's going to be? Are there any future picks? Are there any other prospects in the deal, or like, is my Penguin involved in the trade?
That's a landmark deal.
Yeah, the original talks were Nick for Nick, but Nick Brinks wouldn't waive his no trade clause. So
he did. He held Educated Ignorance over a barrel for his contract. So yeah, he's a diva.
Have we talked about Braun Breaker's spear on iShow Speed?
We have not.
We haven't got to the men's match yet.
Oh, I apologize.
That's okay.
Spoilers.
I'm in here cashing in my money in the bank during the Royal Rumble match. My bad, guys.
That's all right.
Sounds like something R-Truth would do. Are you going to try to get a hot tag now?
Yeah.
Bring a ladder into the Rumble match.
Hey, the R-Truth hot tag moment from last year's Rumble is like a top 5 moment I've ever seen, because it was so damn funny. And the crowd played along, and the wrestlers played along. It was great. I could not.
I love when he came out for the women's. That to me was still...
That was good. Yeah, that was really good.
We could talk about last year's Royal Rumble as long as we don't discuss the venue we watched at. We all watched it in the privacy of our own homes.
Yeah. You guys were watching.
Yeah,
You guys watched it at the.
No, we watched it at home, Joe. Don't say it. We watched it at home.
No, you guys, you watched it in the home, the home place, the place of home, on
Correct.
home plate at Modern Woodman. You watched it at home plate. That's what you did. Home. It's where the heart is.
Did you enjoy the Rumble, Deej?
Yeah, it was a good time. We were at my parents' house for the women's Rumble, and then we left early on in the ladder match because I wanted to make sure we were home and the kids to bed by the time for the men's Rumble. What was really enjoyable for me is we were at my parents' house waiting for some stuff to do some stuff, and there was a TV. They have a TV in their dining room, which we had the Rumble on, and then a TV in their living room, which we had the Rumble on. And my parents and my wife and I were watching in the living room during the women's Rumble, and my daughter was sitting watching the Rumble in the dining room, and she marked out several times I don't remember who early in the match did a move and then did a kip up, and she's like, "Whoa!" Like, it was great just to see the enjoyment out of a 5-year-old's eyes.
No doubt.
And here I am, 44, going on 45, and I probably, I it's the same thing. It's just,
yeah,
everybody's a wrestling fan. They just don't want to admit it.
Exactly.
They really are. If they just took the time.
You just have to suspend a little bit of belief every once in a while and just enjoy what these guys do. And my dad, it was funny because he texted me about it hours after we left their house, meaning it was still on at their house. Even so, he texted me just the 3 letters USO with like 10 minutes left in the match. We're down to our final 4, and he just texts Uso.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
And I just said, yeet.
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 My 5-year-old is heartbroken that the tribal chief didn't win, though. She was.
Was she like, Dad, that's you?
Of course.
Yeah, there we go.
And then she held up the big gold belt this morning and said, "I'm the tribal chief now."
There we go. She's the captain now.
What do you think about what's Roman's plans for Mania?
I don't know. I texted CZ kind of about that this morning. I would not be surprised. Obviously, there's a lot at stake with the Elimination Chamber, but I would be fired up for a triple threat match. I think a triple threat between Rollins, Punk, and Reigns would be a lot of fun.
I'm gonna fire back at you, and I'm gonna say I hope they don't do that.
I do too, because
here's why. Unless like the winner of that faces Cody on night 2.
Ooh.
So
what if it?
I don't want a triple threat match.
That's fair.
For no reason.
That's fair.
But if there's something like that, okay, because we're gonna get. We'll just rip the Band-Aid off. We're gonna start talking about We're gonna start talking about Mania right now. If you're gonna have a triple threat between those 3, it's got to be main event night 1, or the co-main on night 1. Winner gets Cody night 2.
There could be some kind of goofy, like, shitty finish at the Elimination Chamber that goes into Paul owing a favor to Punk, as far as Reigns is concerned, and then you've got that almost 2 entire months. Well, I guess the Elimination Chamber is March 1st.
Yes.
So a little over a month between Chamber and Mania, for Rollins to piss in Punk's Cheerios. I don't know that I've ever cheered during the Royal Rumble as hard as I did when Logan Paul eliminated Punk. I just did not want him to win. I know, I'm a hater.
It's fine.
Who was your pick to win, DJ?
I think in Jordan's thing, I think I picked Cena. Obviously, I wanted Reigns or Rollins to win, but I'm really happy with how it ended. I I think it finally fed into the crowd, kind of got what they wanted. One of the, we live as wrestling fans for those snapshot moments. And fast forwarding your guys' conversation, I think the two snapshot moments that I'm going to remember from this one for a really long time are the Ray and Penta at the beginning, and then Jay and Cena's face off, kind of aching of Cena Rock Hogan type flashbulb moment, which was pretty dope.
Cena still knows how to do this, doesn't he? He might not have as much gusto as he used to, but I think does he know how to command and like sell the moment?
Yep. I think we joke around a lot within the wrestling fan industry about LOL, Cena 16-time burying people. You literally had like 7 straight entrants in that Rumble last night that he put those guys over at some point, whether it was Punk or Reigns or now punting over Jay last night with the face off, and then coming in and kind of quote unquote passing the torch. We know Cena at some point in this year is going to win number 17. It's set
wrong.
Up.
Not
you
happening.
Don't think so?
Not happening.
Bold
not
take.
happening.
Very bold
not
take.
happening. Did you listen to his presser comments last night?
I did.
I did. I feel we hit.
That's the irony. That's the irony.
I watched on the Band China app this morning.
He is not going to win 17.
Okay, so I guess here's my thought.
Charlotte is, though.
Well, that's fine if Charlotte does.
And she's going to win them all in the next 6 months.
And that's fine.
She's at 16, brother.
I really wanted Cena to win last night, even though I picked Punk to win. I wanted Cena to win the belt. Or I wanted Cena to win the shot at Gunther. I wanted Gunther to destroy him at Mania.
Oh.
Only for Cena to come back and beat Gunther and slay the Giant at SummerSlam.
At WrestleMania Backlash.
At SummerSlam.
Ooh.
This year's SummerSlam is the first 2-night one. It's in MetLife. They're going to need something big. I thought that would have been big. Well, the plan's different now. I don't know what they're going to do with Cena.
I have some ideas.
You think he wins the Elimination Chamber, right?
That's what I'm worried about, because I don't know if they have the balls or the foresight to do another guys who work night 1 will also work night 2 situation, because that is like risky.
Well, especially when you did it last year on a guy with a completely shredded knee.
Yeah. I think as long as they're all healthy, you can do it and try to get away with it, but like I do love what you're saying. I don't know if they would actually go that route, or
but how dope would it be
if they did like the triple threat winner gets Cody.
If they did it right, If they did.
Yeah, like Roman wins the chamber. Here's my thought. I think we're gonna continuously. I don't know where last night's little promo that John cut is gonna make him go character wise. I have some ideas that I will share. So like, I think we're going to continuously have him, even though I thought he was, at the end of the day, I'm glad he did not win the Rumble last night, because the story is better of him coming this close and not getting it before finally doing it. I want him to continuously not be able to get across the finish line. If let's just say the Nick idea happens where that triple threat to get to Cody, you have Roman win the chamber, and the guy he beats last is John. And that's the final 2. So John just comes up short again. Then John's in the Money in the Bank match. The match ends with Cena there trying to grab the briefcase, and he's knocked off by whoever wins it. And you continuously build. Now, maybe there's some character shifts at some point where it's like how he reacts. Because the way he said that promo where he was like, me winning is best for business and whatnot. That was interesting. I'm interested to see how they build for that from that. But like, I think eventually you get to him finally getting the match and he wins it. And if I had to perfectly book it, which won't happen, but if this was what happened, I think it would be really cool. Cena's last match is at the last pay-per-view of the 2025 calendar year. You find a way to manipulate and have a pay-per-view like late December on a Sunday or Saturday. He wins. It's his last match. He retires. Vacant belt. Royal Rumble 2026 is for the vacant belt. Would that not be cool?
That shit
I'm really
spins.
good at
And
this.
then it's better than 1992.
Hey,
Throwback
I'm just
to
saying.
earlier in the show when I was actually watching.
Hey, but in all things, like, I do think that's how you can get to Cena winning it, because if he does win it, I don't want to see. I mean, not that I wouldn't want to see him put someone over by losing it, but he doesn't need to. The story is him chasing to get it, and I think if in his last match it's I lose, I'm retiring. If I win, I go out breaking this record after a year-long, told story of him continuously coming short. Then I think that would be really, really neat.
I think you just cooked too perfectly there, Gordon Ramsay.
I did kind of I was kind of on fire there, wasn't I?
You were.
But that would be. Nick, the idea you had, I did come out of last night because I've been thinking it's going to be Punk and Roman at Mania in some way, shape, or form. But I did come out of last night wanting the triple threat, we all hate each other grudge match. Now, but I also think,
Do
you want to hear how you want to hear what I initially booked? I initially booked a 4-man tournament with the 2 opening round matches on night 1, which would have been Rollins versus Reigns, Punk versus Logan Paul.
I could see that.
I would have had Roman Reigns go over Rollins. I would have had CM Punk go over Roman Reigns. That's your main event of night 1, because the winner gets Cody in night 2. And Paul turns on Roman and helps Punk win night 1. So your main event of night 2 is Cody Punk. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I initially thought, but I actually like the triple threat idea better.
It would be really, really cool. And if you did my way of getting to there with the chamber thing is like basically in the chamber, Punk, Seth, and Roman are in it. Punk and Seth are beating the hell out of each other, and then they both get taken. They kind of take each other out because of them wanting to just murder each other. Roman survives that, beats Cena in the end. By the way, that chamber match could be stupid loaded. If it's those 4 and then 2 others,
you put Logan Paul in it.
Probably.
And then who cares? Put Dominic Mysterio in it. Still a banger.
Exactly. And then it's Roman who wins the chamber match. Paul's favor with Punk is Punk to get a match with Roman to put the chamber match title shot on the line. Seth then somehow connivingly, because he wants to kill these guys, gets into the match as well. That's how I would get to that. But yeah, it's who knows. As of right now, my Logan Paul match at Mania, God, you guys are gonna hate me. It's Logan Paul versus Gunther for the world title, because I think that match would bang.
I'm done. I'm out. See ya. Peace.
I know.
No, Jay's going after Gunther.
Oh yeah, never mind. Yeah. You're right. I'm an idiot. It's gonna be Jay. Yeah, I'm stupid. That was my.
I don't think I ever got out of you. What's your prediction for Cena at Mania? What's he doing at Mania?
Damn it.
LOL, Cena wins.
Yeah, I have no idea. Now, yeah, you're right. I don't know why I thought Jay. I went full idiot for a second. You're right. That was my idea going into last night, but now it's going to be Jay. Yes,
I think the only 2 matches I have in my mind set in stone for Mania are Jay and Gunther and Dominic and Finn Balor.
Oh, hey now.
Tiffany Charlotte?
Tiffany Charlotte.
The Judgment Day Vortex. Yeah, I have no idea, because here's the thing, I wonder, because Cody's the SmackDown champ.
Yeah.
And if Cena doesn't really have a brand, but if the chamber match is gonna have like Roman, Punk, and Rollins, who are all Raw guys in it, like that's kind of the only way to make that chamber match loaded. How do we get to Cody's opponent? When does Jay decide if he's gonna do Gunther, which we all know he's gonna do Gunther?
Well, he kind of said last
Monday
night.
night. Monday night.
Yeah, he kind of said last night after when he was doing the interview with the girl in the short pink dress that he was going for the World Heavyweight Championship.
It's Jackie Redmond, Deej.
Thank you. Yeah, I think there was only pink.
So I
You know what I really wanted to happen instead of Seth double curb stomping Roman? Is I wanted him to go and slap Tyrese Halliburton for agreeing that the Quad Cities is a shithole on McAfee.
Oh wow. Let's go up and bop him.
Yep.
I thought the Roman Seth Punk thing at the end, though, when they all got eliminated, was really cool. Like Roman and Seth were their own demise, and then Punk glossed over it too much, and then shock elimination, Logan Paul. I don't know what you do with. I wanted Logan Paul versus Gunther because I really thought that match would be really cool and it would give Gunther the win. But obviously now he's going to lose. I remember I actually said this last night during the Rumble match because at the time I did not think Jay was winning. I had a feeling.
Delay still.
Yeah, I avoided all spoilers throughout all of it. It was so my friend Blake and I were talking, and I was like, the Saturday night's main event match was good. They just had to rush the end of it because they ran out of time. You can build a really good match between those two and have Jay end up winning and the crowd be all behind it, especially because the story now is Gunther's beat him 3 times, once or twice for the IC belt, and once now for the World Heavyweight title. And now this is him. Like I was thinking at SummerSlam, Jay finally overcomes it. Now you have the Shock Royal Rumble win, and now that's obviously just going to be speed ran it to Mania, which I'm fine with, obviously.
Unless he pulls a Josh Allen and loses for the 4th time.
That is fair.
That's another show.
So Jey Uso and Josh Allen. What Jey Uso is the Buffalo Bills. But yeah,
my heart dropped a bit because I know this means the end of Gunther, and I'm a big Gunther homer. But Jay has to win this match. If Jay loses this match,
Nick, the word is Mark.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. If Jay loses this match, then it's over for him. I could never. He's got to win. He's gonna win.
He goes from main event Jey Uso to curtain jerker Jey Uso.
Yep.
So remember how we said earlier that when we get to Roman Cody 3, we want the face and heel dynamic changed?
Yep.
So Roman is kind of a baby face, not a baby face. He's more of a just, I don't know if he's tweener.
He's a stone cold baby face.
Yeah. But he also never really, during the bloodline stuff, showed remorse for all of the bullshit he did. If you actually have... So do you guys think that Jay is going to main event night 1? And even if it's like Roman versus Cody?
No.
Or not Roman. Excuse me. Sorry. I'm all over the fucking place. My bad. Even if it's Roman versus Punk or the triple threat match, do you think Jay would main event night 1? No. Do you think that they would do you think they would have him on night 1? Or do you think they'd do both matches on night 2? Just off the top of your head. Because I know what I want to happen when Jay wins. And I think it has to happen.
It's got to be the big crowd interaction and whatnot. It's got to be, I don't think they'll do night 1. They'll book it for the main event of night 1. But if it's main event of night 1, you get the big moment afterwards with him celebrating in the crowd. So,
hey, I've got an answer for you. Mm-hmm. I've got an answer. Just poof mental moment here. So we can do our triple threat match because John Cena at WrestleMania faces The Rock.
That would be weird.
Thrice in a lifetime?
Thrice in a lifetime.
3 lifetimes. I mean, hey. Shout out to those Moana reshoots.
Hey, don't. Moana's great, brother.
I'm not saying anything bad about it. I'm just saying that is literally why The Rock did not or is not going to face Cody this year because of Moana reshoots. So my thing is that when Jey wins, you have to. Roman has to be the guy to come out and put the belt on him. They won't do it because even though they perfectly picture and have all of this stuff that they have done with every story that Roman and Cody is a part of, they do it and build it right. But in order, because in the bloodline stuff, Roman never actually said, yes, all my actions were bad. He basically was just he was the same guy, but on the good team now.
What if we're all right? What if everything's correct? What if we do get Roman Cody with the opposite deal, and then we get a reshoot without Future killing your family, Benoit Eddie moment at the end of WrestleMania with Reigns and Jey?
That would be something. That would be interesting.
Another snapshot moment, brother.
That is. I just think to have Roman actually go out there, doing something like that, Roman obviously he would be out there, so it wouldn't be him stepping aside, but Roman giving the moment to Jey, to me, would make up for him actually getting on the mic and saying, yeah, I'm sorry I was a prick. You know what I mean? That's why I think when Jey wins, when Jey is celebrating, Roman should come out and hold his hand up and put the belt around his waist. Because I think it would, for Roman's character, I do think it would be cool, one thing, and two, I think that would do a lot. It wouldn't make him this sympathetic babyface, but it would make him logically more of okay, all of the stuff that I did for 4 years, I have accepted any bad stuff I did. And it shows that he is happy for his family, that they are also succeeding, if that makes sense. Not that you know what I mean? You understand where I'm trying to thematically get to?
I do.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you.
So, yeah, that's where I'm at.
So I want to go back.
I'm headed out of here, guys. I just wanted to run in and share some stories.
Well, thanks, Deej, for stopping by. We're
Deej.
glad that you did stop by. It was great to hear from you.
See, Deej.
I want to ask you guys, because coming out of this, obviously everybody was shocked.
Very.
I think Nick can probably remember a little bit better, but I think I literally was like, holy shit, when Cena fell off the apron, when he stumbled off the apron and Jey was the winner. I have seen a lot of negativity towards Jey getting this win. Obviously, we all don't feel that way, but one of the big stories that stands out is there are people who are calling for Triple H to be fired because Jey Uso won the Rumble. I mean, that's drastic. That's an extreme measure. But what do you guys think of the negativity towards Jey Uso, who is arguably one of the most over wrestlers in the company right now?
I will start, I guess.
Yes. Yep. I was wanting you to start.
I understand that Jey had the worst match of Mania weekend last year. I think a lot of it has to do with how last year, going into that, they kind of stripped down all of the emotional and the characteristics of his character that made him work and made us give a shit about him as a single star in the first place, because they turned him into aggression, motives, and emotional, sympathetic figure, but was good. Jey Uso trying to dethrone the tribal chief, he became Yeet Man versus no Yeet Man in the brother versus brother match, in a match none of us wanted to see.
I mean, let's look at Jey Uso's match last year. Look at that,
Right.
and now he's going to main event. I mean,
Exactly.
who saw that? Who saw that?
Nobody.
Nobody saw that. And it's good. It's good that nobody saw that.
Agreed.
It's good that nobody saw it. Wrestling fans are a dangerous animal because regardless of something that was so like organic and surprising and shocking in a good way last night, you're always going to find somebody to bitch about it. So everybody's going to bitch about something no matter what. So I don't even listen to those people. There wasn't anything egregious with what happened at the ending of the or ending of the Rumble last night. It was great. It was great. It was a great surprising moment. I loved it. I would love more of that in wrestling, to be genuinely shocked and not know. And we need more of that. And I think it's what made last night great. I think it's what's going to make this Rumble great. Everybody's going to remember it. Everybody's going to know where they were. It's one of those definitive wrestling fandom moments that you're going to have to look back on.
Agreed 1,000%. I think it's a great thing. I think, acting like Jay was not going to eventually win a singles title was just absurd. And him doing it, him doing it a little bit earlier than maybe we thought, it's fine. And it's almost vindication for me. I mean, really, if anybody won last night, it's me. Because remember, I said he should have dethroned Roman. Remember that? LOL.
Yeah. You did say he was the one that was going to. That was a while ago, but you did. Yep.
All things in seriousness, though, I think that it was a fantastic moment, a fantastic match. My bad. Stupid commercial. I was trying to pull some up on my phone to look at something, and my phone was turned all the way up. It was genuinely shocking because, like, you kind of know when the flow of something is happening, and like in the Rumble especially, it's like this guy does his move. All right, well, I know the next guy's going to counter it. Maybe when Jay super kicked him and John was holding on, I was like, okay, John's going to knock him off now. But it went in like slow motion when John picked him up and then Jay slid in the ring. You like stop, and it was like, wait a minute, is he? And then he did, and John's shocked, and I'm like, I literally said, oh my God, Jay won. It was really cool. And yeah, I feel like Twitter, I love Twitter, especially on nights like last night when crazy NBA or crazy sports things happen, because it's funny and it's just hilarious to see how creatively funny people are. But the internet wrestling sphere can be a toxic place.
Very.
And last night was a reminder for the internet wrestling sphere that was saying how Jey Uso was bad and it sucks and it was bad that he won. It's a reminder that Twitter, at the end of the day, is a small percentage of the populace. When 70,000 people are, hey, I guess I'll do it finally, doing this in the stands, losing their shit with Jay winning. And I understand people being like, because like the comparison I saw the most was like, well, LA Knight was super over and his merch was selling and they never pulled the trigger on him. I mean, I get it. I like LA Knight a lot. I wish they would have done a little more with him, maybe. I don't know. But at the end of the day, we're here, and it's not a bad thing, I don't think, at all.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Whew.
We had a lot to digest there.
Yeah. So, and I'll close with this. If you know the outcome of every single match, if you can predict what's going to happen in every single match, what is the damn point in watching?
Right.
And this being surprised in and of itself was refreshing. And kudos to Jay. I think this is well deserved because, like I said a few minutes ago, he is arguably the most over guy in the company right now.
Yeah, him and Cody. Because I still think even after the end of last night, I think Cody obviously is insanely over to a degree with the populace and whatnot. But yeah, Jey, I'm sure someone out there has the argument the YEET thing is more over than him. But I do think because remember, like, which was stupid. Like, remember when WWE during the WrestleMania 30 era, they thought the yes chant was over, not actually Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
And they like tried to let Big Show do it. And we were like, nah, fam, we want the tiny guy with the beard.
Right.
Like Jey, when Jey is serious and like, yeah, the YEET stuff, like the promos he was cutting with Gunther, like, I've main evented WrestleMania. You haven't. I understand that, you're better, you all this, but like the emotional stuff that he can cut, like the promos he was cutting back in the Bloodline day, he hasn't had anything like super good like that lately. But even the promo he cut after he lost to Gunther on Monday was good. Like, when he's not just Yeet Man on the stick, he's really good. He's really, really good. And yes, are the matches sometimes not great? Sometimes, but when he's in there with the right cat, not his brother, when he's in there with the right cat, it can be awesome because the crowd is invested. He has a limited moveset, but the crowd's invested and, he can work. So, like, yes, as long as I'm filibustering, but at the end of the day, it works. It all works. And I think people who are like super off about it, it's like they just complain about anything. If Cena would have won, they would have been like, Cena wins everything. Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they just hate everything.
Well, gentlemen, this has been a fantastic discussion. Joe, thank you so much for being a part of this.
Yeah, man.
We'll bring you back down the road for sure. Not sure when, looking at the calendar, but love having you on. You bring some great perspective to Nick and I just agreeing on everything.
There you go. Yeah. The next time I'm on, it's going to just be like the list of Joe instead of the list of Jericho.
Okay.
And it's just going to be my way of like I said, I have a lot of AW takes to get off my chest.
We'll have to make a special episode.
Absolutely. You're always welcome back here, man.
Yeah, I love it, guys. You guys are awesome. I can't wait till we are all out at the lounge and watching wrestling again.
Can't wait.
Together. You guys are a blast. Generally great human beings. It's so good to see you guys, and this was awesome. I appreciate you guys letting me come on here and talk about what was a fun Saturday night.
Absolutely. Yes. We'll do it again here soon.
Absolutely. Agreed. Well, that is going to put a wrap on this edition of Card Subject to Change, the podcast by the fans for the fans. As always, we are powered by Lopez Pizza, built by Durham Remodeling, colored by Ryan Allison Tattoo, and protected by Jared Zook of Country Financial. For Joe the Show Winkel, catch him on Educated Ignorance Sundays. For my partner, Never Wrong, Nick Bull, I am the Wizard CZ. This has been Card Subject to Change. We will see you back here Wednesday for our midweek show, The Kickout. But until then, have a great week.
This has been a For Frequency's Sake Podcast Network production. For more great content, subscribe to For Frequency's Sake on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter.